So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Well, hello everyone. I'm completely unprepared for this, but sure, what's new? I just said I'd jump on and do a live show because just back from soccer myself, I've got a face as red as Fergie's nose, and I'm just absolutely blown away. And to be honest with you, I couldn't sit down and watch Love Island at 9 o'clock with herself, fresh in the knowledge that Danny Mings is now an Aston Villa player. And I've no Paddy, unfortunately, tonight. Paddy's away and he's jollies again. But that's cool too. Paddy will be back soon. I'm going to get him on. I just couldn't wait. And it's 9 o'clock. And as I say, I just wanted to pop on and chat. I don't have anything really prepared for this, as in I'm just back in the door and I will be doing a video just breaking down Danny Mings. It started already. I was coming back in the car and I thought to myself, how many times would I call him Danny Mings? And I should never have thought that, because it was a joke at the time, and now I'm actually doing it. Danny Ings is a villain, and I really just wanted to kind of pop on to see what your guys' thoughts were on it. To be honest, it's been a whirlwind hour. Just as I was coming out of the car at football pitch, I saw it popped up on my phone. Danny Ings is now an Aston Villa player, and it came out of absolutely nowhere, and there's something childish about me that got this little, how am I going to put this? I got this kind of tingle inside that was kind of like, remember, I don't know, anybody of a certain vintage, you guys might remember that you get an episode of Match magazine or Shoot magazine or something like that, and you'd open up the back page, and in the back page there'd be all these rumors, and they'd be tiny, and they'd be absolute bullshit, and none of them would be true. And you'd always get that feeling as a kid that, oh my God, Villa might be signing Davor Suker or something like that. And I remember one day, this will tell you how bad I had it. I remember one day being in the schoolyard and I opened up Match magazine and I flicked through the back of it. And I happened to be watching a West Ham game the Sunday before. This was like a Wednesday or something like that. And I happened to be watching it. And Paul Kitson, if anyone of a certain vintage remembers Paul Kitson, not a very great striker, actually not a good striker at all. But he'd scored 2 goals for West Ham the Sunday before. An impressionable young Neil ran around the schoolyard after it was put in the back page of Match magazine that Aston Villa were going to bid 1.5 million for Paul Kitson, and I thought we were signing the next Pele, and that was the start of it. But I got that kind of feeling again. A transfer comes out of nowhere, and it just knocks your socks off. And I'm going to get to all of your comments here now in a moment, but that's kind of the feeling I had today. And I had, look, it's been a shitty day. Let's call a spade here, because it's like we don't, everybody's saying Jack is going, and we're spending money like drunken sailors, and long may it continue, I suppose, really, from that point of view. Long may it continue. There he is. Paddy, do you want to come on? I can send you the link, Paddy. You're coming. No. Yeah. Some might say you picked the right place for you to stay, Paddy. Some might say you picked it. Yeah. Give me 2 seconds. I'll get you on there, Paddy. I'll get you on. I'll send you on the link, because I'd like your opinion. I haven't spoken to Paddy at all today. This will tell you how much today is kind of sidewinded everybody, I think, really. That I'll get Paddy on there, but just in the meantime, I just want to kind of talk about Danny Ings as well. Like it's a lot of money. Okay, the tempering of the excitement for me is in the fact that we've spent 30 million on a 29-year-old player who has mangled his leg twice, if not 3 times. So it's something to be a small little bit concerned about, I think. Small bit concerned about, but I don't think that it's going to be the underlying factor. For me, Danny Ings, he works like an absolute trooper up there. you know, anytime he's ever played against Aston Villa, he's just been a nuisance. He's been one of these players that scores goals. If you think about it, he's got the same industry and work ethic. And I'll say this before Paddy comes on, because he'd eat me if he was on the podcast. Before while I said this, he's got the work ethic of a Shane Long, but he's got the right foot of a good striker, not like Shane Long. And that's kind of my feeling with Danny Ings. Where is he going to fit in is a good question. And I know I'm going to read the mind of Paddy Kelly before he pops onto the podcast here. I've just sent him the link, and I'm going to read the mind of him. And I think that I think Paddy's going to be concerned about where he's going to play, and I think so too. But I think that it's going to be important that we've got a more rounded squad. I think that last year we were accused. I'm going to say it, accused, and probably rightly so, in the media of being a one-man team. And this year, I don't think that we're going to be accused of being a one-man team, because we're going to have a rounded team. Is that going to be better? I don't know. It's completely up for discussion as to whether that's going to be better. And we're not going to be we're not getting better because we're getting rid of Jack Grealish. But what we might be getting is more, I suppose, more kind of grown up as a team without Jack Grealish. And there's Paddy. I'm going to pop him in here now, and we'll see what his take on it is. Paddy, how are you doing?
Good evening.
How are you keeping? Paddy, you have to stay away. Paddy, actually, we're starting to GoFundMe to keep you away, so that Villa can sign players. If I'm not mistaken, were you away when Buendia was signed as well?
Oh,
I think you might have been.
I can't remember.
I think you might have been.
I've lost track of the last 24 hours, let alone when Buendia signed at this stage. It's absolutely mental.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to just shed some light in the situation. Oh, Jesus. It's been absolutely mental, hasn't it? And I think that we're in for another few crazy days. I think that we're in for crazy days of speculation. And until Jack Grealish kind of leaves, lads, what happens if this is the play to keep him? Genuinely, what happens if this is the play to keep Jack Grealish, Paddy?
It could be. We can only put hope at this stage, Neil, because it's. I think the world and its owner and the dog on the street and everybody thinks that this is done. So, the club being what they are haven't said a word. Jack hasn't said a word. Like this Danny Ings one comes completely out of left field. No one has a word. It just proves that all of these in the nose and celebrity journalists that always have it first, they haven't got a bloody clue on most things. So, you know,
it was doing the rounds on Southampton Twitter this morning, but it was one of those ones that you're kind of like, you know, look, Danny Ings, yeah, maybe that might happen transfer deadline day.
They also said he was going to Everton as well this morning. So, and
they also said, I saw an article, I think it might have been the Telegraph, that why aren't Man City going for Danny Ings? They can't fucking buy everyone. Like, they can't just buy everyone. Well, they're doing a good job of it. They're making a good shot at buying everyone.
They can do what they like, obviously, transfer wise, because financial fair play doesn't apply to them. But what can we do about it?
We're going to try and keep this away from being a Jack Grealish podcast, because we will have lots of those coming. And actually, I hope to have somebody to talk a bit about transfers in general coming up very soon. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it or anything like that, but I will obviously announce it once it's been 100% confirmed. This is just to remind me, it's not an anti-Jack Grealish thing. It's just to remind me not to talk about him, because he's right in my eye line. I'm going to have to shuffle around the paintings and the pictures behind. I'm in the market. I might be in the market for two new pictures, lads. If anyone knows of any decent Paul McGrath drawings that are out there, I'd love to buy them. Might put up a few shirts or something. But Paddy, talk to me on the Danny Ings piece. I've gone into a completely whirlwind, incoherent kind of discussion about Match Magazine a moment ago, because this is really kind of throwing me for six. Usually I have time to get my head around a transfer. I have time to maybe think about it, to study it, to discuss it with other people of that club. I'm here and I'm like a bumper car just bouncing from side to side to side at the moment. I can't wait to get dug into him, to be honest with you. But what's your initial feelings on it, Paddy?
Well, I was shocked first and foremost. I Somebody sent me a text just before it broke to say that Danny Ings was done, and I was like, "What? That can't be right." And then I got into the car, and just as I get into the car, the Twitter, I had actually messaged you when I heard it, and then the Twitter ping saying Danny Ings confirmed. I was like,
Oh,
Jesus
I
Christ.
thought when you messaged me, I had said to you that someone was talking about Ings, and then you went Danny Ings, and I thought you were asking me if I made a mistake in my message, and then I went, yeah, Danny Ings. Like there aren't any other Ings. I don't know if any other Ings play football at the moment. Like
not Danny Mings, no.
No, I've called him that twice already in the podcast. But what do you think he brings to the team, Paddy? Like genuinely, it's a head scratcher from that point of view, I think.
Well, the one thing it strikes me straight away is, where do we put him? Do we change our formation? Do we play him off the right, which we've seen him cutting in from the right on many occasions for Southampton? Do we switch to up top? Possibly. And is this all because of the transfer we're not going to talk about, that we don't have that option down the left, so everything changes and we switch things around. It's a positive signing, absolutely a positive signing. Will score goals, will create absolute havoc for defences up and down the country. But on the negative side, 29 years of age, we're probably realistically looking at 3 really good years if he stays injury free, and we won't be recouping the 25 million or whatever it is at the end of it. So it's a big outlay for a player in this day and age at 29 years of age. But look, it is what it is. Any player we go to sign now is going to be inflated pending what happens in the next few days. Still hopeful that it won't, but wouldn't it be magic if that was the case, that we were looking at him working together with these new players? It'd be unbelievable.
Yeah, the details of the deal have been announced, so it's not actually 20 or 30 million. It's 25 with 5 add-ons. It's a 3-year deal with an option to extend by 1 year, obviously fitness wise. I think that's okay. I'd prefer to have him on a shorter deal and pay more money up front, because amortization of contracts and stuff like that, which is it's a big fancy word. It's something I've been learning recently, because I've been doing a piece on how we can creatively selling Jack Grealish will actually net the club more than 100 million. Would you believe? And net the club almost in financial terms and in accounting terms, net them almost double that. It's mad system. Like, money is just mental, and football money doesn't make any sense at all. But I think I can understand why we've paid 25 million for him. 25 doesn't sound as bad as 30 to me, but I can understand why we've paid 25 for him, and I'll tell you why. Is because, like, when you're looking at over the last 3 years he's been at Southampton, he scored 76 goals in 46 goals, in 100 games. That's a 1 in 2. When you even break it down to his minutes that he's played on the field, so even you take the games out of it, you break it down to his minutes, he's still coming in at one goal every 2 games. Leon Bailey, was one really interesting thing today. I did a podcast today with a man by the name of Tom Fenton from Get German Football News. A really interesting guy, lovely gentleman, and I will be having him on if we sign anybody from the Bundesliga again, because this guy is. I said that I wasn't one of these football hipsters that just watches the Bundesliga, watches every Bundesliga match. I watch it if it's on. This guy watches every Bundesliga match, and beforehand he was regaling me with, like, this guy is going to be a genius when he's older. This guy is going to be, anyway, he's just a fountain of knowledge. But he said that the biggest thing about Leon Bailey that he sees no one talking about is Leon Bailey has a wicked cross of a ball on him. Now, Danny Ings is good. He's a fox in the box, as well as being able to come deep to pick up the ball. So I'm wondering, are we kind of expanding our play, as opposed to, and it's going to be very difficult to play the exact same system that we had last season. We're missing the fucking pivotal piece in Jack Grealish. So are we expanding the way that we would play by having a Danny Ings and an Ollie Watkins? And maybe we see sometimes, at games that we go into games with almost a 4-4-2 with maybe a Watkins playing more as a second striker.
Yeah. That's the obvious way of looking at it. That we'll switch to a 4-4-2 or a 4-1-2-1-2, whatever. You know, I can't see Ings or possibly Watkins will play wide in the right. But I think with what's in our armory now, I think it would be the people that we've previously signed that will play in those positions. So it will be possibly a two up front at times, and probably more often than we think, unless they go and play Ings just in behind Watkins, which is another option too.
It's like his goal scoring, his shot percentage. I'm just looking at some statistics for it now. Like he scored 12 goals from 24 shots on target. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, 55 shots in total, 24 on target, scored 12 goals. He only played 24 games last season. Like, I think it is an interesting transfer because, like, he's 29 years of age. He's had some horror injuries, he's mangled his leg twice, if not three times.
Yeah. That's my biggest concern with his stats, and his ability speak for themselves. But he's just had one too many injuries for me, and it's just playing in the back of my mind since he signed. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy. I am happy with the signing, but just a little bit concerned.
I'm nosy, and I'm bringing up his injury history here. I'm coming at it from a different point of view. That in this day and age, you can fully heal from any injury, and if you're not a speedster, you can fully heal from any injury, even better. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe he doesn't have tread on the tire, or maybe he still has tread in the tires from that point of view. That, like, maybe he's broken leg. Maybe it was a clean break. Maybe there was things like that. I'm just looking here. Yeah, it was actually two cruciate ligaments in 15-16 and 16-17. So if we look at those, if we look at his injury history, it was two knee injuries. Yeah, 1 year after the other. And then did he have something more recent than that? I thought he had something more recent than that.
I thought he did too.
He did. It was suspected against us, if I remember rightly, that he did his knee, but he didn't actually do his knee. He just strained something, but he ruptured. Yeah, it was 2015-16, 2016-17. He was out for 210 days and 288 days. So. Right. In my view, I think it's pretty. I think we could probably say he's healed from those two injuries.
Well, at this stage, it's 5 years ago now. At this stage, so you would hope so. If memory serves me correctly, he's had a few niggly little ones, and I think it affected his time at Liverpool. So, look, we'll overlook all of that stuff in the past. You know, he's up there playing with a monster striker in Ollie Watkins, and the two of them could really complement each other. It just comes down to how the hell we're going to pigeonhole these two in here and make it effective, because if you're spending that kind of money, he needs to be playing. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And you know, I'm backtracking a little bit because I said 25 million was an awful lot of money. If it's 4 years, that's going to be the bones of what, 6.25 a year. We're going to spend possibly 5 million on signing to Nzabi for a year-long loan, so it's relevant enough.
And I think, look, if you were to put price on goals as well, like if he scores double figures a year, which I think he could do. If we've got two strikers, look, if he comes in and scores double figures a year, we will forget about Jack Grealish, because Jack Grealish didn't score double figures. So for all the great that Jack Grealish did, his goal scoring let him down at times. We've actually. You want to talk? We're not doing Jack Grealish. I'm going to stay away because I was going to go on a tangent. I was going to go on a tangent about Jack Grealish.
We'll talk about that when it actually happens.
We will.
For now, we'll persevere with what we have and just talk about what the reality is.
Absolutely.
But it's been a mad 24 hours from that press conference last night, which I don't think any of us are really used to to the news today that apparently the deal is done. Bailey being announced, Jack, then whatever, and then that bombshell this evening just knocked the socks off everybody, I think.
Absolutely. Guys, just at this venture in the podcast, or the live, whatever you want to call it, could I get you guys to maybe give it a like if you're watching it on YouTube? And if you're not subscribed, we'd love you to subscribe too. That'd be nice if you are. But if you're watching it on YouTube, I'd think that you're subscribed. If you're watching it on Twitter, maybe you're not subscribed to the YouTube. We do these every so often, so they're a lot more coherent an awful lot of the time. And sometimes we're in worse form. You should hear us talking about refs. Oh my God. If you're a referee, definitely subscribe to it. You'll get a good laugh at us and how little we know about refereeing, but how much we think we know about it when we give out about referees. And if you're a football pundit, definitely watch it, because how little we know about being a football pundit, but how much we give out about football pundits as well. That's a really good advertisement for this podcast, because in season, we are in flying form from that point of view, regards giving out about refs and football pundits, because we know everything apparently, and we stick by it. So if you could give us, if you're watching this on YouTube, just give it a like on the thing. Just click the thumbs up piece. And if you're watching this on Twitter, maybe check out our YouTube or even our audio podcast. We do an awful lot on audio podcast as well. If YouTube isn't your thing, find us in any of the podcast networks and give us a subscription. That would be really, really good. It just helps us out. It costs you nothing, and it just helps us out. So now that public service announcement is over and done with. Let's go to a couple of comments. I said 22 minutes ago now at this stage that I was going to go to comments, but then Paddy came in and knocked me off my track. Here we have one comment here. It's from Broken. Crazy transfer window. Danny is the real deal. Proper old school forward. Hope we can see him and Ollie together. Fearsome prospect. I think we neglect the importance potentially of an old school forward, and we're looking to go into too much detail on it now, because it's something that's keeping in the back of my mind for another podcast. I'm going to do an in-depth statistical podcast on him. But that guy who will get into the box and be a fox in the box and be able to link up play as well, there aren't too many of those around. I'd call Harry Kane one of those, but I struggle to think of an awful lot of other ready-made, rounded strikers out there, kind of like Danny Ings or a Harry Kane. And granted, obviously, there is a gulf in talent between the two. But what do you think of that? Are you a fan of do you think the old school forward mentality still works in the Premier League today, Paddy?
It's not something we see an awful lot of. It's not something we see that is the big forward, small forward anymore either. It seems to be a lone striker nearly across the board. So, yeah, me being old school, would love to see the two of them up there together. I think we spoke too often about Ross Barkley getting up close to Ollie Watkins last year. Maybe this guy can do the same thing from an advanced midfield position.
I would say Ollie would get close to Ings, and they would possibly be able to be, because that's got me thinking an awful lot. That's got me a bit excited. Ronan, a forever listener to the podcast. Thank you so much, Ronan, for tuning in. Great signing, number 9 for sure. No move for Tammy, so time up for Wesley, maybe a loan move, and time will tell. I think with Keenan Davis being out for 2 months now, I think we will probably see Wesley stick around. I think Dean Smith is going to go into this. Well, he is. It's obvious he wants to go into this year with options. I think he preferred to look at the bench and see options than to look at the bench and not see them like he did last year when Jack Grealish was out last year. I think regardless of whether he stays or whether he goes, and it does look like, as I said, that he is going, I think that Dean Smith has realised that you can't just put out what you've put out and not have options in the bench in the Premier League. And I don't think we're going to move for Tammy though, but maybe Wesley does go out and loan, but maybe he stays. Maybe the best place for him to, maybe keeping him around this team and integrating him into this team is the best for him, because, he's spoken about the difficulties of fitting in Europe before, and maybe sending him out and loan might be the best thing to do. I don't know. I don't know the intricacies of him, but he seems to be a pretty complex character.
I'm leaning towards the fact that he will stick around, because we need depth as well. So,
and Keenan Davis is out for 2 months. I think that's a sure thing.
I can't imagine Keenan is going to be listed in our 25 players for that reason alone. No. So I think Wesley will stick around for now, but Tammy, I'd say dead in the water. But by God, if we woke up in the morning to news that Tammy signed it, I think I'd wet myself here at this stage.
I don't know. I think that we will get a couple of more, maybe one more creative attacking player. I'd wet myself with excitement if we got a destroyer in midfield, Bissouma or Anguissa, or I know he's just moved recently, but Patrick Berg from Bodo Glimt, I think would just fit into this team, something cruel. But something like that would have worked. Rob Henry, another great patron of the podcast. Thank you so much for Rob. Brilliant signing. Can't all be young things with potential. Need some prime steak. You're dead right. That's it. Yeah, nobody goes for the new steak. Everybody always goes for the 28 days aged steak, don't they? So you're dead right. You're dead right. Another one here from John Steele. This is a great signing. It also pushed Watkins onto the next level. I'm gutted Jack is gone, but this is the strongest starting 11 we've had in a while. Need a big bruising centre midfield and a centre back. Is there something to be said there, Paddy, that, and I'll take out the strongest starting 11, but potentially we're going to see the strongest game day 16 or game day 18 that we would have seen for Aston Villa in a while.
And that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Because how many times have we been excited about a starting 11 and then something goes wrong on the pitch and we go, how can we change this now? Because we can't. Because there's nothing there. There's nothing backup. Now we have backup. We could do a little bit more. Tu and Zabi come in, cover right back, centre back, possibly defensive midfielder as well. But I do believe we will need to sign somebody permanent from midfield. That is a given. And I'm sure they know that as well.
I think Tu and Zabi
let's
coming
not forget
in
we do have Douglas Luiz and Marvelous Nakamba. So
yes,
let's not they haven't let us down really in fairness to them. So
we won't see Douglas Luiz for the first 2 games of the season, I don't think.
I'd say a month, I'd say he'd be given a break now. And Paddy need a break, he's playing a lot of football. Let's
call a spade a shovel here as well. We mightn't see Leon Bailey for the first 2 weeks of the season.
Well, he's going to have to quarantine now, so he'll be training alone, probably in an apartment block somewhere. Who knows? So we probably won't see him until that quarter. Apparently, he lands in the UK tomorrow. We'll see.
That's what Craig Butler said. Yeah. One here. 100% acting like a big club now. I'm a bit on both sides of this. I think we are. I think you can read it. I think you can read into what Aston Villa are doing. I think you can read into it whatever way you want. If you want to think that Aston Villa are being fools to keep Jack Grealish training with the club and are panic buying, I think you can back up your argument to say that. But I also think that you can 100% back up your argument to say we're making smart decisions in light of potentially losing our talisman. But I think we are acting like a big club. I think we're just getting on with it. I think we're not feeling sorry for ourselves and going, oh, woe is us, so let's just hope we barely stay in the league. I think these signings show a bit of belief more so than panic.
Well, there's been a big club and being a big club, and there's been one of the greedy 6, and they can do what they like. We are a big club. There's no doubt we're a big club. But I tell you, I have zero time for Daniel Levy. But if he holds on to Harry Kane in this transfer window, he's acting like a big club, and that's the disappointing part for me. Jack Grealish is under contract. I know there's obviously some verbal agreement or something in there we haven't been told about. If he goes, he goes now. But I think acting like being a big club would have meant to be hung on to him.
Well, if so, I'm a bit torn on that. Then we're Liverpool not being a big club and they so continue and win the league the next year.
Well, I think that would prove to be a good move because Coutinho went rapidly downhill afterwards.
Yeah. So exactly. So my and look, whether Coutinho went rapidly downhill or not, that was outside of Liverpool's control.
That was irrelevant. Yeah.
That was irrelevant. I think that question, acting like a big club now, will be answered in.
But Liverpool had to cut their cloth to fit. They couldn't have brought in those players without Coutinho going. So you're not comparing with apples either. But you ask yourself, you're not sure, could we? I've no doubt with the financial clout of our owners, we could. Would we have been breaking records?
Breaking rules. But then the rules only matter for us, Paddy. They only matter for us. They don't matter for Man City.
Yeah. They matter for the likes of us and Bury and
Man City,
Sheffield Wednesday and Birmingham City, but not for Man City or Man United or whatever. They just do what they like. Or Chelsea,
Here's
for
one.
that matter.
Here's one. Shearer-esque. Jesus, I take Shearer-esque all day long. And you know what? That's what Shearer was. Shearer was just a nasty guy who get his elbows in. Danny Ings gets his elbows out. I'll tell you that, underneath the ball, Danny Ings gets his elbows out, and like himself and Mings have had a couple of battles down through the years. And yeah, hey, old Mary Poppins, if he turns out anything like Mary Poppins did for Newcastle, we'll be absolutely laughing. They'll be the best 25 million the club has ever spent. Brilliant stuff. Actually, I never thought of that. And you know what? And here's another one. Dion Dublin was 29 when we signed him. Worked out okay. Guess who else was 29 when we signed him? Just look at the podcast name. Paul McGrath. He had dodgy knees. He was 29 or 30 when we signed him. He ended up playing
for many years.
Pretty okay, I think. Pretty okay. Now, I know not everyone's going to be the same. But yeah. Also, if we really do believe in Louis Barry, do we want to get a 24-year-old, 25-year-old striker to maybe stifle his growth? Louis Barry, I think, will go out on loan. I think he will go out. No, I think that's probably a given this year. So Danny Ings says he's 3 years, is 3 years, and then Louis Barry, when he's 6-year contract, swoops in then to save the day afterwards. Maybe. I don't know. Let me just have a look. Now this is something. Dean Smith must be adopting Southampton's formation of 4-2-2-2. Watkins deserves to stay central. I don't think he's as mad as Raf Hasselhoutl. All right, that is a mad formation. And it killed us twice this year, or once this year anyway. It killed us because we had no idea what the hell they were doing. But I don't think he's going to rip up the playbook that much. But I do think he's going to get more creative, and I do think we will see less of the Dean Smith is just trotting out the same 11 this year, or he never makes subs, because I think Dean Smith might make subs now because he probably will have a better bench.
I think in order to press on, we need to be in a position to pick the team to rival who we're playing against, the same way people have done when they outsmarted us last season, because they've had the defensive clout and the clout on the bench to pick from. So that's where we need to be. And with these extra players, you're looking at Ashley Young as well, who would probably be sprung from the bench and could be in a number of positions.
Jesus, yeah. So hey, who can cross the ball? Can Ashley Young cross the ball? He absolutely can. Yeah. Biff has it right. We can switch systems and don't have to stick to the same system anymore. Yeah, which was a criticism of Dean Smith last year. Can't play without Grealish. Can only play one way. Needs Grealish to win games. Well, we're going to find out now, aren't we? Yeah. We're going to find out if he can only play one way now, and I think he can. I'm Dean Smith number one. I actually have a T-shirt that says Smith in. We were contemplating, when all the messing was going on about whether Smith was going to be sacked or not. We were contemplating of releasing a T-shirt with Smith in on the back of it. I actually have a sample that we got made up there, but I wear it sometimes to the shop, and I have a giggling to myself that no one has a fucking clue what the hell it means. Let me see here. Let's just run down here. Let's run down here. This is a good point from Alfie. If our playmaker is injured, we still have playmakers available, and like just having Jack. Look, I don't agree with the end of it there. It says good news, in my opinion, that Jack Grealish is going, because I think everyone wants to keep him.
Well, hopefully he's saying that the Ing stuff is good news.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah. I misconstrued that. Imagine if we got in somebody like Damsgaard. There's been a bit of rumbling about Damsgaard. I think it's right out of left field. But hey, lads, be honest with you. Emi Buendia, like fellas that we have this year that we don't have last year. Sorry, fellas that we don't have from last year, this year that we had last year. Jack Grealish and Trezeguet. People that we would have if we were to get somebody like Damsgaard or Cantwell in would be Damsgaard or Cantwell, Leon Bailey, Emi Buendia, Danny Ings. Would you prefer to have four potentials than to have? Look, I know Jack Grealish is irreplaceable. He's irreplaceable for what Jack Grealish does. But it's like if your wheelbarrow is broken No, because I was going to say if your wheelbarrow is broken, you won't buy another wheelbarrow, and you just use the wheelbarrow the same way. I can't think of a good analogy to come up with here, but I think this will force Dean Smith to change the way he plays. But remember, Craig Shakespeare is in there, and what did Craig Shakespeare do when they lost those players like N'Golo Kante and stuff like that for Leicester? You know, Craig Shakespeare. I trust the brain trust in the tactics department to come up with something to do this, but that's a good point, Alfie, that we've got playmakers now. Kieran is excited about Danny Ings, just a day late for the birthday, Kieran. Or was the birthday today?
Today, isn't it?
Jesus,
happy birthday, Kieran.
This is Aston Villa Twitter over the last 24 48 hours. I don't even know. I wished him a happy birthday. I can't even bloody remember what day I did that. Yeah, I do. Look, guys, I do apologize. I made the shittest joke ever on Twitter. I said, sources close to somebody says something Cantwell is doing is close to something. I apologize. I had to take it down. It sounded funny to me at the time. But after I got 8 DMs going, Cantwell ? Cantwell ? I wasn't toying with anybody's.
You just didn't get the joke.
No, I'll be honest with you. I probably was about 8 minutes ahead of myself when I wrote it. I was just so giddy that I didn't fully think it through. I do apologize. We're not in the business of breaking news. Usually, we try not to. Even though sometimes we do hear things, we try not to break news because of that very reason. Because you end up with egg in your face, and I don't do it properly. I do the garmless idiot way better than I do the knowledgeable sage. I do. So we try not to do that. Homebird Digital. 215 plus goal strikers. I take that. When was the last time? I don't think there was. Oh, never. There might have been. Surely Saunders and Atkinson. Possibly Dublin and Vassell. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to go back through the books. Dublin and Vassell is a great call. Dublin and Vassell is a great call. Would York and Savo? No, Savo didn't score that many. Scored them when they mattered, though, pinging them in the top corner against Leeds. Yeah. Penalty taker, Paddy. Talk to me. We have one. Danny Ings. We have. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, he's a good old record of penalty. So yeah, he'll be if he's on the pitch, it'll be first choice, I'd imagine. Yeah, I do enjoy a good old wrestling joke from time to time. Danny Ings with an RKO out of nowhere. Absolutely, for sure, Tristan, for sure. Now look at did anyone see the rumor about Goretzka? I'm going to put that up there so people can see it. No, is what I'm going to say. But if it happens, there will be a naked podcast. Boxers will be completely gone if that happens. There'll be no boxers. It'll be a completely naked podcast. Jesus, lads, thanks so much. There's a ball. Thank you, everybody. I'm just after looking up 222 people watching. There was 224. This is amazing. Thank you so much, guys. And we're not even touching hashtag Villa Spaces at the moment in the massive numbers. Those lads had some chats over the week. Fair play to them. And Steve, Villa Analytics, we've had him on quite a few times. And Ty, my good old mucker, Ty is Mr. Positivity. I absolutely, you know what? He always puts me in good form. Those boys have been doing great work. Absolutely sterling work, and getting a view from the stands on as well was fantastic. Good to hear it from the horse's mouth as well. But guys, I remember myself and Paddy were going, can we just get 50 people to watch the stream? Can we just get 80 people? Can we just get 100? Now we've got 227. Thank you so much, and genuinely we mean that. We're just two old fellas here trying our best, and you guys are so one of which you'll be in the pub. Oh, am I taking you to the pub? I will be shortly. Don't worry. Are there people below in the pub waiting for you? No, they're just next door waiting on me here. Okay, all right. Oh Jesus, because apologies. Anyway, back to more important business. They can wait. Sure, it's a residence bar. It stays open all night, Paddy. You're lucky. You're one of the lucky few. Could you imagine if Jack did a U-turn? Jesus, could you imagine if Jack did a U-turn, lads? We'd be the talk of Europe. Oh, Daniel, We'd be the
You know,
talk of Europe. I call in sick for 2 days to work. I would go on a rampage. Absolute rampage if it happened. Oof.
yeah, that would be the best thing that happened this week after such a crazy week. I honestly I can't wait to check out this hotel because it's just been bedlam since I checked in.
Well, it is bedlam. It was a mental institution at one stage. The hotel
It
that
was,
you're in.
yeah.
I'm after losing, lads. You guys are popping in the chats at an unbelievable rate. That's fantastic. I'm actually after losing where I was. Oh, there's talks. Is there talks about James Madison? Is there talks?
It was
Oh man.
it was mentioned today. I
Oh.
honestly I can't see it. I can't. Plus he hates Villa, which doesn't wash with him, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Being a Coventry boy, so it's not one that I'd see happening. Didn't see any ink though either.
Yeah, absolutely. The more I think about it, the more I think that Danny Ings and good crosses of the ball like Leon Bailey and Ashley Young, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited because and Danny Ings is a penalty spot hero, and as I said last year, Ollie Watkins was born at the back post. So maybe if we do go to a more direct crossing style, and we did try it last year against Burnley and against
Keepers.
Sheffield United, I think it was. We had some inordinate amount of crosses. So maybe we were looking to try things up. And guys, it seems to all be coming into focus a small bit now. Against Stoke in the first half, we changed formation 4 times in the first half. We played 4 different formations, and it was I felt it was obvious when I was watching it that they were specifically working on changing formations at a quick pace to be able to do it in games. And I think, and remember, against Stoke, Smith wasn't there. Shakespeare was taking it. So I think that's something that we were looking to do. And there was times when Anwar and Ghazi played up front in that game. There was times when Buendia pulled back into midfield. There was times when the midfield was flat. So there's things are beginning to, I'm not going to say make sense. That could have just been a one-off. But still, it is something. Here is a great shout. Morgan Sanson. We keep on talking about we need another midfielder, we need another whatever, we need a central, we need another 10. We might have one. Back training again.
Well, we do have one. We just forgotten about him because
forgotten about him. Yeah,
he's been injured, and we're not going to see him for another while anyway. So, but we do have him. But I don't think another 10 is the issue. I think the issue is we need another 6. But anyway, I'm sure it's going to come because I'm sure they can see themselves. We also have Carney to play a 10. We also have Aaron Ramsey to play a 10. So 10 is not my immediate worry. 6 is, and who knows? I'm sure they're thinking about that at the moment. They have to be.
Red stripe on draft. Absolutely. Actually, do you know what? It did cross my mind today to go and get a couple of cans of red stripe Jamaican beer to celebrate Leon Bailey. Where's Danny Mings born? What's his local bitter? We'll have to get a couple of cans of that as well. I do think there's a couple of guys been asking about Horan. Yeah, I think Horan will go. I think he will go. I just think it's getting crowded in the midfield there for him, unfortunately. But then again, stranger things. Then again, as you say, I think the motto of the next 10 days until the season starts was, but we didn't see Danny Ings coming in. So anything has become possible again. What else have we got here? Even if we've kept Jack, we have to. This is actually a great point from Stephen. Even if we did keep Jack, we needed to evolve. Dean Smith mentioned about the amount of times that the ball broke down in the final third last season, even with Jack in the team. We needed to evolve with or without Jack. And I think, look, obviously, maybe the numbers we're spending on players here aren't what we had initially thought we were going to spend on players. We're maybe going to drip feed players in and have more players, have less influential players than we've bought. But it's something to bear in mind. It's something to bear in mind that would have needed to happen anyway. So maybe we're just expediting that now, albeit without Jack Grealish. There was somebody there was looking for a shout out. We never get shout outs. Damn it. Where is it? Stefan, you can have a shout out. You absolutely can have a shout out. And here it is. thumbs up from Ireland, buddy.
Fair play to Stefan.
There's still talks of James Ward-Prowse. I have Twitter open here as well. People are talking about him. I know nothing. You guys can. I don't know whether I'm behind the times on that one. Unlikely. I still think we might see somebody like Papa Matasar. I think we might see somebody like Alvarez come in. Yeah. Villa is a shot club. We're a shot club, everybody. Well, you know what? We when myself and Paddy go over there, we'll drink nothing but shots. That's fucking sure. I can guarantee you that.
Keep the shot.
Sorry, lads. Look at this. This is how you get your comment read out, Darren. Flattery gets you everywhere. You're more than just two blokes. You're proper fans of our great club with an unbiased, straight-looking things. Paddy even had me convinced Jack was staying, but that was the only thing I heard him to be wrong. Well, he hasn't been proven wrong yet. The fat lady hasn't sung. The fat lady hasn't sung.
Absolutely.
Cool. Guys, it would be fantastic. Do you know what? I'm going to be full disclosure. I've been padding and I've been waiting to see how long we could stay on here for fear that there was going to be an announcement of another signing. It just feels like there's something else going to break. I don't know what it is. But I think that we are done for the afternoon. Are we done? What's Romano saying? No, speaking about Spurs. Paul McGrath's Golf Classic is on. I might try and make my way down to that. Actually, that'll be a bit of crack. Guys, I think that's going to do it for Danny Ings. That's been a nice little conversation. This has been better than going down to the pub and having a ramble with a couple of mates. Thanks so much for all of your comments. Couldn't get to all of them. I'm so sorry. There's a comment just went in there, just flew past there, and there was something about the team for Sevilla. I don't think we'll see. I think we might see Ings. I don't think we'll see Leon Bailey against Sevilla, but I think we might see Ings, and then we might see anybody we buy between now and then that's British based. I think we might see against Sevilla as well for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. But things are shaping up nicely. And look, there's still
somebody just messaged me there that it's 3 weeks before Leon Bailey can play, so it'll be two games and a week's training before he'll be on board. So probably Brentford before we see him play. Yeah. Excellent. Thanks so much, guys. Really, really appreciate it. 250 odd people at one stage were listening to this podcast. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Mean it. Means an awful lot. I can now go and have a shower because I'm stinking after my game of soccer tonight. Paddy can go and have a raft of pints, and I might tip into a couple of cans of Beamish that I have. No Guinness, I know, sacrilege in Ireland, but if you're not Irish and you've never drank Beamish, it's very, very nice. Put it that way. It's very nice. They'd take away my passport if I said Beamish was nicer than Guinness, so I can't say it outright. But it's definitely a contender. Guys, thank you so much for everything you do. Please like, share, subscribe, write it on a piece of paper, send it to your best friend in the post, old school mail, whatever you want to do to try and spread the word of the podcast. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks a million. This came out of nowhere. We've been 52 minutes almost on the podcast. Really enjoyed your company. I'll be back with a video tomorrow, statistical outlook and view of Danny Ings, maybe tomorrow night, I'd say. And then fingers crossed, I'm hoping to have somebody pretty influential and important, more important than Paddy, he won't mind me saying, coming on the podcast on Friday. But look, I don't want to hype it up too much in case it doesn't happen, because these things can break down because they're time sensitive and stuff like that. So thanks very much, guys. We'll chat to you again later. And all that's left to say is, and we will always say it regardless of who plays for the team, up the Villa.
Up the Villa.